TRAPPIST-1b. It is a terrestrial, Earth-sized exoplanet orbiting around the ultra-cool dwarf star TRAPPIST-1, located 40.7 light-years away from Earth in the constellation of Aquarius. The planet was detected using the transit method where a planet dims the host star as it passes in front of it. It was first announced on May 2nd, 2016, and later studies were able to refine its physical parameters. The planet is about 37% more massive than Earth and about 39% larger in volume. Through its density is very similar. It is the innermost of 7 planets orbiting TRAPPIST-1, which are terrestrial, but it is too close to its star to be in the habitable zone. Observations by the James Webb Telescope announced between 2023 and 2024 suggest that it either airless or has a hazy CO2-rich atmosphere. Its albedo is very low, making it dark in color. It is very similar in both mass, radius, and gravity to Earth. It has a radius of 1.116 Earth radius, a mass of 1.374 Earth mass, and about 100% Earth's surface gravity. Initial estimates of planets density suggest it is not entirely with a density of 3.98 grams per centimeter squared, about under 5% of its mass must be volatiles, likely in the form of a thick Venus-like atmosphere due to its receiving nearly 4 times more than Earth does. However, refined density estimates show that the planet is only slightly less dense than Earth. Wow. The fact that that's even up in the air, guys, I mean, very interesting. See, when the president asked for the planet's surface temperature was initially estimated between 750 K 890 Fahrenheit and 1500 K 2240 Fahrenheit. Temperature as high as 2000 K 3140. What the hell? This is much hotter than the surface of Venus and may be hot enough that the surface is about lava, maybe a lava planet. I mean, an observation of the secondary eclipse of TRAPPIST-1b by the James Webb Space Telescope conducted in 2023 shows that the planet does not have any significant atmosphere and with a measured temperature of about 503 K 449 Fahrenheit and a low albedo. The planet may be very rarely active due to tidal squeezing similar to Jupiter's moon Io, which happens to have a similar overture in velocity. I mean, it could be, like I said, it could be a planet mostly covered by volcanoes and lava. I mean, literal hell. TRAPPIST-1b orbits very close to its parent star. Orbit requires only 36 hours or about 1.51 Earth days. Its orbit is about 0.0115 AUs. So a little over a million miles from its star, just 1.2 the distance from Earth and the Sun. Wow. It's tidally locked, very circular orbit. Host star is much smaller than Earth. Um, it's a red dwarf. It has a mass of 0.089 our mass and only 0.121 radius with a temperature of 2511 K is about between 3 and 8 billion years old. Atmosphere, the combined transmission spectrum of this planet B and C, most planets B and C rules out cloud-free hydrogen-dominated atmosphere for both planets, so they are unlikely to harbor extended gas envelopes. Also, no helium emissions from TRAPPIST-1b has been detected. Prior to the observations, other atmospheres for cloud-free outer vapor atmosphere to a Venus-like atmosphere remain consistent with the future spectrum. In 2018, the planet atmosphere was better examined by the Spitzer telescope, suggested to be quite large and hot. Although the presence of an atmosphere could not be confirmed, the planet's transmission spectrum and refined density estimates suggest two main possibilities for the atmosphere: one rich in carbon dioxide or one rich in water vapor. The more likely CO2 atmosphere would have a scale height of approximately 52 kilometers, 32 miles, compared to 8 kilometers of Earth, and Venus at 9.9 miles, and that's average temperature in excess of 1400 K, far greater than the planetary room temperature, 256 Fahrenheit. A water vapor vessel would need to have a scale height of over 100 kilometers, 62 miles, and a temperature of 1800 K to produce the variation seen in the planet's transit depth and its transmission spectrum, and it would be vulnerable to photodissociation where the CO2 would not be. Other sources for the effects, such as haze and thick clouds, will require an even larger atmosphere. TRAPPIST-1b will have to be studied further. Wow. An observation of the second eclipse of TRAPPIST-1b by the James Webb Telescope, announced in March 2023, suggests that the planet does not have any significant atmosphere. Which is probably true. I mean, it's probably just a barren, lava-covered hell. I mean, atmosphere containing carbon dioxide with surface pressure greater than zero point 0.1 bars can be rolled out at 3.7, and pressure greater than zero point 0.01 bar at 1.7. Further studies of the expired by transmission spectra reported in September 2023 also confirmed the presence of a hydrogen-rich atmosphere, but due to stellar confirmation, contaminants were unable to determine the presence of other types of atmospheres based on the transmission trajectory data alone. This does not affect the previous results based on emission sensitivity. That was a 10-second eclipse observed by the James Webb in December 2024 and 5 and 12.8 and 5 and 15 showed a shallow eclipse depth in the short wave that may be caused by chemical haze and a thick CO2-rich atmosphere. The presence of chemical haze in the atmosphere of 1b could create a thermal inversion that warms the upper atmosphere to the lower atmosphere, decreasing the infrared brightness. Wow. The high UV influx would make for efficient photodissociation and photochemistry. However, it is unclear such haze can form in a hot, oxidized CO2-rich atmosphere. These results are also coupled with a young automatic atmosphere and no atmosphere, which the author of the 2024 paper highly favors. It has low albedo. The film emissions best fit a surface composition of automatic rock, composed of 60% olivine and 40% acetyl. The difference in eclipse depth between the two wavelengths indicates the surface is generally fresh, less than 1,000 years old, and not significantly affected by space weather. The presence of fresh rock on 1b could indicate recent crustal processing from volcanically surfing or plate tectonics, a combination of tidal heat from the other 6 planets and extreme heating from the large magnetic field of its host star should result in a substantial increase in volcanic activity, possibly making 1b capable to the Io with a young and crater-free volcanic surface. I think it's far worse. I mean, I think this thing could be mostly covered by lava, volcanoes going off constantly. I mean, wow. Wow, let's look at some pictures of this planet. Wow, look at that. And up here, you got, as compared to the Earth, pretty similar. There's a picture of this planet circling its star. I'd also put volcanoes and haze and yeah, yeah, most likely a really volcanic planet. Wow, that's what we have on this planet as of today.